Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to start this 30-day challenge with all of you. What can we do to elevate the world to love at this time? That's one of the most important things we can do for ourselves and for everyone around us. And what we know is that horses do this with ease, and they bring us to a state of love. So, our first day challenge is a simple one. So, remember the rules: no treats until after this is done, and they're far away from you when you approach them, so they're not expecting treats. That you go in open to the experience. This is a co-creative. So, you're creating this organic experience, co-creating it in the moment with your horse. So everybody's experience is different, and even though we might go in with a similar intention and a similar exercise, what we experience will be very unique to us and our horses. Remember, this is for anyone who is comfortable enough to go into a pasture and be with their horses, or some type of enclosed space. So you need a round pen, a paddock, possibly even a stall, but that's a pretty close quarters, so some kind of area outside is much preferred. Getting out in nature if you can, and the weather that you have at the moment is definitely a big asset to this. Being in the horse's own environment and going to them on their turf is where we're really wanting to go. So if you have the possibility, you're going to be going to your horses and their environment, and if there's a bunch of them, that's fine. If you feel that for safety reasons you need to take your horses, or your one horse, or a few of your horses, and put them in another smaller area, that's fine too. I just go out in the pasture. With whoever's there, and do the experience that way. So this is a simple one. We don't have really any agenda. Remember, there's no agenda, there's no treats, and there's and the intention of receiving. We know that horses are healers and they elevate us. So instead of us wanting to give, which is where a lot of us come from a lot, we're going to receive. So when we go and say hi to our horses, remember, we're entering their personal space that they've been having for the last however many hours with no interaction. So lovingly enter it, and you're going to take today, all you're going to take today is a bucket. A bucket that you can sit on. Maybe a hat if you're in the sun and need to protect your eyes. And that's it. I would actually like you also to bring a journal like this one. This is a Christmas present I made for myself. It was a journal. So if you can start a journal for this process of this 30-day challenge, that would be great. So a journal, but I don't want you to bring your journal in. I don't want you to be journaling while you're with your horses. I really just want you to be present. So not trying to record this or get it down or write about it. That will all come later. Obviously, we're bringing the journal. So at some point when your time, you're at least 30 minutes if you can do it. If you can't, however much time you can. If it's only 15 minutes, do it for 15. If you can do it for 30, if you can do it for an hour, if you can do it for a couple hours, like there is no time limit, but at least give yourself. No cell phones. Cell phones can't be dinging, ringing, anything. If you need to set an alarm so that you know that your 30 minutes is up because you really have to go, then do that. But leave it on the outside of the fence, somewhere that the horses can't mess with it and you can't look at it, that you can hear it dinging at you when you need to. Same with your journals. Just leave them out so they can't get messed with, and then you can, after your time is up, then grab them, then sit down on your bucket and write about your experience and what happened and the important things you want to remember. I have written a book sitting on a bucket in a pasture, so I know how powerful the writing is that can come through at this time. So definitely want to do that. But first, you're just going to go in with the intention of receiving love. Your horses know that you love them. You show them that every day. This isn't about you giving it to them. It's about you receiving it from them and letting your hearts feel the need for this love. And just being open, So you're sitting on your bucket. Go find your horses, get near one of them. You're not engaging, you're not getting them to do something, you're not looking for anything specific, you're just asking to be in their presence and to receive their love. Whether you sit on the bucket, whether you stand, whether you sit on the ground, whether you bring a ball to sit on, none of that matters. It's easy to carry a bucket, so that's what I do. And it feels a little bit safer to me than sitting on the ground, depending on the horses that you're around, and if there's many of them, a little quicker action. But I've never been in a situation where I've had to react quickly. But obviously, we always want to keep our own safety in mind and be aware of our surroundings and how the horses might be interacting with each other, fighting over giving you their attention, if anything. So enjoy this exercise. I will be joining you shortly. I don't know how that's going to work with recording. I'm going to be setting my phone up somewhere and hoping that a horse doesn't knock it over and that we get recorded somehow. So I'll do my best on that, and that will be up as well. For those that don't have horses but want to enjoy this experience with all of us and would just like to see what happens when we do this and feel the peace and presence of even just watching it on a video and watching someone else's experience. That's the reason that I am videoing, is I know many of people out there are not fortunate enough to have a horse in their backyard or boarded somewhere nearby that they can get to or have this opportunity. So want to make it available to anyone who takes the time to enjoy. So as we go out into our horses, sit, ground, notice the air around you, notice the noises around you, notice your own breath, notice the heartbeat in you, notice outside of you, notice within you, notice the horses. Calm yourself and be open to receiving the love that you are worthy of receiving and that your horses are waiting to give you an enormous, enormous love. Enjoy until tomorrow.